All right, it's the day after I completed my circumnavigation of Jeju Island. I stayed an extra month in Jeju to make sure I could finish this task, which I did with about a week to spare, so I think that turned out pretty good. In a way, that's a lot of extra time, but also not really. I didn't want to leave it till the last second. And a week can go by fast. What if it rains? What if there's a heat wave? What if there's some weird thing that happens that I couldn't go out? So I think that kind of worked out pretty perfectly. However, I finished at the top of Gunsan Orium, one of the coolest views I've ever seen. I was going to say one of the coolest views on Jeju Island, but just one of the coolest views, full stop. And it was really weird weather yesterday, where at like 300 meters up, there was this perfectly flat line of clouds across the whole island that perfectly covered the top of all the higher Oriums and mountains. So today, next day, I fucking open the the curtains and it's like, oh look, perfectly blue sky. Look at that shit. Although that was looking out toward the ocean. Looking westerly toward Gunsan, it's actually not perfectly clear. So I guess that's also just that the weather's just weird in the middle of summer. Very unpredictable, but it seems like basically clear. I have a feeling if I went up there today, the view's probably awesome. So I was like, yeah, of course, the day after. But actually, I think this is kind of cool, because first off, it's hot. Oh, fuck, it's hot. I mean, I'm just doing laundry, and just while I wait for laundry, I'm going to take a little stroll to one of the little machines where you buy a Dixie cup of coffee for 50 cents. One of the things I will definitely miss about South Korea. I love those little machines. And yeah, even just this little walk, it's like, oh, shit. Because it was a really great walk yesterday through this eco park and along the shore, and up through the ancient 13th century horse trail and then up the mountain. It was a great day. Immediately today, I'm like, I kind of just would like to do that again. That's so good. I already missed the idea of hiking around the island. But I feel like it was already stupid to be out hiking in the weather yesterday. Today, this feels legitimately dangerous. This is like, fuck me. This is so hot. So that worked out better. But also, it's just amazing how fast, even just within one day. Like when I was up there yesterday, I don't know, I felt a little bad, I guess, that I wasn't in a better mood. I was just kind of tired because I didn't sleep enough, and a little disappointed that the weather didn't clear up, and annoyed at all the bugs flying around, which now that I think about it, they were probably also disoriented because of how thick the mist was. Probably a big reason why bugs were flying into me and stuff. They were going haywire. But I even said yesterday, it's like, I know in hindsight this will seem awesome. It's just in this moment I'm having a hard time shaking off that my perfect vision of the finale is different. And yeah, it's just funny that even one day, the very next day, already I'm like, nah, you know what, that was actually way better. Like, what if it had been like today? What if I had gone up there and it had just been the perfect view? I mean, I just discovered the Gunsan Orium like a few episodes ago. I already had that day where I just gushed about the amazing view. What would it have been except that again? Where instead what I got was this super thick mist swirling around like fucking Sleepy Hollow or something. And baby deer refusing to be scared of me and just hanging around, and bugs flying right into my head. And just weird shit happening. And then there still was the little points up there when the mist opened up and I could see the full view all the way across and see, like, I didn't even notice the windmills last time because I was just seeing such an overwhelming view, where this time it's like a corridor opened up and I could see all the way to the shore, but I could only see this one part where the windmills were. And it was just so weird and unnatural. Like, you literally stepped up into the mist and then down out of the mist. Like, you could just put your head in it and your shoulders and body wouldn't be in it. It wasn't quite that distinct, but almost. And it's like, that was actually cool as fuck. That's already like a cool memory. And it's only been one day. So yeah, I think it all kind of worked out better. I got two versions of the top of the mountain. I got to experience a weird weather phenomenon that I've never seen in my life. And then the previous time I got to experience the big amazing view. So yeah, this is just going to be, I don't know what the next episode of this podcast will actually be about. Nothing's going on today. I just wanted to do a little intro thing just to say that, that already, one day later, I'm like, actually that mist was awesome. What a weird fucking thing. But yeah, I got, I don't know, I guess you would think of it in laundry terms. I got this laundry, I'll do one more thing of laundry right before I leave, and then that's it. Then I'm finally leaving South Korea after 6 months. I stayed the entire 6 months. I was looking up Taipei, and it's like, yeah, it just seems like instead of the Suica card from Japan or the T-Money card from South Korea, I think it's called the Easy card. I only looked it up this morning. But just, you know, same thing, different card. You just get one of these cards, you use it for transit. Some stores take it, you can buy it at convenience stores. It seems exactly the same as those other cards. It's just the Taiwan version. So it should be no problem. Just watched a little, it's nice to just, you know, just to be sure you know what's going on. And I just watched a little video of just somebody at the airport. Because even in Seoul, it was a little tricky. I couldn't find anywhere in the airport to get a T-Money card. I did have to go to the subway station that's attached. And some cab driver tried to convince me there was no subway station attached. Because he wanted to sell me a ride. But you know, I finally got to the subway station and found a machine that sold T-Money cards. It was a little tricky, but it's nice to see these things on YouTube and just be prepped, you know? It's like, just watching a guy at this airport in Taipei just buying the little card out of a machine, and it's like, yeah, it's just another airport, just another place. Looks fine, looks like it should be no big deal. You know, just whatever little travel anxieties I might have, it's nice to just wash those away. And I was thinking about the days, especially when this Jeju circumnavigation was when I was really on the far side of the island. So I'd take these long bus rides and transfers and then a long bus ride home and spend like 4 hours on transit. I was thinking how the flight all the way to Taipei will be kind of like that. Where I just got to take the bus, the 182 or the 181, one of those, whichever one. I have to remind myself. But I'll just take it up into Jeju City, but just ride it a little further past the bus station to the airport. Then take a 90-minute flight to Shanghai, I'm pretty sure. Then hang out there for 90 minutes. Take another 90-minute flight to Taipei. Take a subway ride into the city center. And I mean, getting to this whole other country won't be that different and will only take a bit longer, ultimately, as some of these severe travel days on Jeju. It's so cool just having things be relatively nearby. It's just not the way it is in Canada, North America in general. Now I guess I just got to use up the money on my T-Money card and use up my Korean cash. You know, I could just convert this stuff somewhere, but it'd be easier to just use it up before I go. But that's a fun game. Whoops, I gotta spend, I don't know, between the two of them, it's probably about $200. Oh no, I gotta spend $200. I think somehow I'll manage, you know, even though I can't buy stuff, I can only buy food, but that's what I did at the end of Japan, just whatever money was still on my Suica card. I don't know, there's still some on it, I don't know how much, but I basically just spent a whack of it at a 7-Eleven in the airport, just bought snacks, just to finish things off. Boy, one thing though, I hope I remember before I come back, because it'll probably be some time before I make it back to South Korea, so I just have the feeling I'm going to forget to do this, is to go online and try to find a power converter that works better with the outlets around here, instead of just the generic universal adapter. Try to find one that's specifically just a Korea one. Because the 7-Eleven one I bought, that thing was a piece of shit. It just started shorting out and making sparks and crackling and just awful. Real quickly that happened, but it was only like $5 or $6. Then I bought a $15 one at Latte Mart, I think. That was a lot better, but it's still like a generic, just every country to every country adapter. So it's not specifically for South Korea, it's just Europe style, you know, the two prongs. And it worked okay at first, but it's also starting to not work, and I gotta fiddle with it and jiggle it around a bit, and it's starting to make little crackly sounds, and it sparked once, and I'm like, God damn, this shit just sucks. This shit just sucks. But apparently if you get a dedicated adapter that's just the 2 prongs straight into a plug, not a big brick, because the big brick, like, it doesn't fit properly in a South Korean outlet. That's, if you are coming to South Korea, it's very much worth it to try to get a dedicated adapter. I can't tell you exactly which one because I haven't found it myself, but buying a universal adapter when you get here, it's going to be a pain in the ass at the least, and possibly a fucking fire hazard at worst. I was so disappointed when even the $15 one just started crackling and snapping and making weird noises, and it's like, fuck me, this shit just doesn't work. Why do you sell this shit here? But obviously it's because the locals don't give a fuck. They don't need this crap, you know? So they're not paying attention to what product they're selling. It's just universal adapter, here you go, foreigner, there you go. But it sucks, these things suck. The big brick adapter, because it's like a circular outlet here in South Korea. A brick and a circle don't go together. But all right, I'm at the little teeny coffee machine. Get a little 50-cent coffee. And yeah, like I said, there's just some random thoughts. Where this episode will go next, who knows? Because my plans for my remaining days on Jeju are jack and shit. Just soak it in general. You know, I guess it's one of those things, especially I've been here 6 months. It's like, whatever, just move on. But it's almost worse to try to plan out like, oh no, I only have limited time. What do I want to do? What are the final things I want to do? I feel like that almost makes it worse. It just makes it like, don't try to hang on. You know? Transitions are always just bittersweet. They're just weird feeling. It's exciting to go to a new place, but once you're used to somewhere, I mean, I've been gone long enough, I'm even starting to have fond memories of my hometown, but I won't be back there for a while. But it's like, even that, I was so sick of that fucking place. But lately it's been creeping in, like, oh yeah, you remember this little walk and this little place and doing this and doing that and seeing this person and that person. It's always this weird mix of like, I just want to hang on, but also, I just want to go somewhere new. So I find the best method is don't fucking think about it. You know? What's the final thing I want to do in South Korea to make sure I get the most out of this? How about nothing? How about don't fucking worry about it? Just be here, soak it in, don't think about it, and then when it's over, it's over. There's my deep fucking thoughts. Man, it really is pretty today, but I'm standing in the shade right now. That's why it's pretty. Yeah, like I'm just running yesterday's walk through my head in this weather. It's like, oh no. I'm sure I would have made it, but I don't know. I've gotten heat stroke before. I've gotten terrible sunburns before. Wouldn't be as smart, that's for sure. I think everything worked out yesterday pretty fucking good. Holy sweet fuck, I just got back to the laundromat, so I was like, oh yeah, there's Wi-Fi here. Let me just check, what is the weather today? It's 30 degrees Celsius with a high of 32 coming, but the, it feels like weather is currently 38 degrees. That's the highest I've seen on this whole trip. That's fucking insane. So yeah, when I was talking about a heat advisory warning, there is in fact, starting this morning, a heat advisory warning. And actually, geez, I just noticed, because this is the classic standing outside the laundromat. I always have an awesome view of Halasan, but I can't see it today. So yeah, this is the worst of all worlds. It's very clear sky. Yeah, if I look the other way out into the ocean, it's totally blue with just little wisps of clouds, but toward inland, it's cloudy enough that I can't see Halasan, and yeah, 38 degrees. Or 32 in real terms, but what the hell? I mean, don't get me wrong, yesterday was hot, but that's insane, man. That is fucking insane. Because even just sitting inside the laundromat, I realized, like, man, I am dying. I gotta go stand outside to get a breeze. What the hell? So yeah, I mean, that's all just to reinforce. Yesterday actually turned out fine. On the heat warning day, the 38, oh my God. Again, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but go do your conversion, 38 Celsius to Fahrenheit, and then you'll go, whoa. Yeah, it's fucking hot, man. It's fucking hot. Oh. 2 minutes left on the laundry machine. Nice. And then a half an hour in the dryer. The longest, hottest half hour of all time. All right, it's the next day. I'm just in my hotel room looking out the window. Man, I kind of knew, since I have this problem of having to pee constantly, if I drink too many liquids at night, it's a disaster. Like, I just can't sleep because I just gotta pee for ages afterward. So I knew I shouldn't have done this, but last night, pretty late at night, I went down to the little kitchen area in the hotel, had some convenience store kimchi side dish stuff, put it in one of the noodles that, as I discovered recently, even though it's the quote-unquote low-end noodles that they have for free here, there are no low-end noodles. You know, they're still super awesome. But I've noticed a lot of places, they have kind of like a distinct garbage, usually like a vat, possibly with like a strainer on top for your noodles. You know, people don't always drink all the liquid with the noodles. They eat the noodles and then they just pour out what's left. Even I was at this 7-Eleven the other day that was in the shadow of Gunsan, and it's rare for the convenience stores here to have garbages outside. Usually you gotta go inside. You know, I think they just don't want people using their garbage if you didn't buy anything. But this one had outdoor garbages, and I noticed it had a specific garbage for noodle remnants. You know, you just, in this case, it was just a plastic garbage can that, you know, you step on the little pedal to open the top. Because I was like, oh, is this going to be gross? I got to look inside, but it was empty. There was none in there. But the point is, you don't necessarily have to drink all the soup that's left. But I did. I drank it all, and then because it's so spicy, I also needed to drink a bunch of water to counterbalance all the spice. So, I mean, I was up all night. And it's like, oh, man. I shouldn't be doing this. I mean, I'm going to make my travel day harder than it needs to be if I don't try to get my sleep schedule under control. But hey, whatever. Whatever happens, happens. I've been pretty lucky with traveling so far. I haven't had any very bad days. But now that the circumnavigation of Jeju is finished, and also just in general in Korea, since in Japan, I was really like every day, like I got to go somewhere, I got to do a thing, I got to soak it in. And it just hasn't felt that way in Korea. In Korea, it's much more casual. I'm just like, I'm here for twice as long. If I just I just fuck off for a day and just do nothing useful, that's fine, who cares? So I'm kind of back to that. Now that I finally finished the circumnavigation, it's like, yeah, I was up all night. Today's kind of a write-off. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? It doesn't matter. And it's overcast again today. It's only 28 degrees, feels like 30, as opposed to 32 feels like 38. It might have even gotten higher than that on the feels like scale. Still hot, but less brutal today. But I'm just looking out the window of my hotel, and through the gap between a couple of hotels across the street, I can see the bay, and I can see this one. Well, let me get the name. Fuck it, if this is going to be my tribute to Jeju, the scuba diving place across from me. They're spraying down equipment. So there are several islands out in the bay that you're not allowed to go to. But if I had to guess, the one I'm looking at, oh yeah, there we go. I can just click on the photos on Google Maps. Yep, that island profile matches what I'm looking at. So this is Seopseom, Seopseom. Actual pronunciation. Your guess is as good as mine. And this is interesting. On the Google reviews, an uninhabited island, but it says it's a very good dive point. I know a lot of these islands off the coast you're not allowed to go to because they're, like an ecological reserve. very nice to walk the paths around Seopseom Island. That's interesting. So you're allowed to go to that one. This is not a tourist destination. It's an island visited by those who enjoy sea fishing. So I guess if you got your own boat, if you can get there, you're allowed to go there. That's very interesting. I didn't know that. Anyway, the point is, it's this awesome view that I love, that I've been seeing, for over 2 months now. I'm very used to it. And even just the sound of this neighborhood, I mean, this kind of sums it up, is just sometimes there's people in the parking lot talking. Occasionally a bus or a scooter goes by. The scuba gear guys are scubaing it up. However, since they are doing work, I will step away from the window while I finish up this ramble, because I guess the only point I wanted to make is that maybe I'm feeling a little sentimental because I only slept for 5 hours. I feel a little fucked up, but I was like, yeah, what do I do with myself today? Do I try to sleep in more? That usually doesn't go that well. I don't really think I can. If I get up, I got to push myself, but I mean, I guess that's just what I'll do. And it was looking out the window and seeing that view and just seeing that it's not horrifyingly hot today. It's pretty overcast. It should be good enough that I can at least go uptown. And I was just like excited to do it. Like, yeah, I don't care that I'm tired. I don't care that I didn't get a lot of sleep. I want to go have a nice little walk across Seogwipo. And then I just started thinking out to, like, this place in particular is so cool because, I got to know the different neighborhoods in Tokyo pretty well. And I got to know Seoul, at least different ways to approach Bukhansan. There's a lot of Seoul I did not see. Jecheon, I knew it okay. Didn't explore as far out into the surrounding areas as I could have. Busan, again, I think there's a lot of Busan I didn't see, but I had a sense of it. But it's just different in Jeju, because, I spent 2 fucking months walking around it. Like, it's just so neat that I can cast my mind out and just imagine all the directions. And, they're not necessarily accessible. Some of those places are very long fucking bus rides. You can't just take a hop, skip, and a jump and just like, I'll just go over there. But this whole coastline I could. Doesn't take that long to get to Gunsan. Doesn't take that long to go the other way, just to go to the beach where there's a fucking Adia coffee. I'm sure I'll do that at least once in the week I got left, just to go to Adia. But then when it is time to go up to the airport, like, I'm just like that I can just mentally like, and this is the way to get up there. This is the bus route. This goes here. But if I did go further, like, I know that that's over there. Even like silly landmarks, like, it's not all just the cool, impressive touristy stuff. It's also like, I know. Go up here and go down this way, and there's a Burger King. They're pretty rare on this island, but I know how to get to them. I'm definitely gonna miss Jeju because I really just feel like I know it. Like, there's that beach where I got stranded in the middle of the night. I don't remember all the names off the top of my head. I only remember the names usually while I'm in that area, and then I forget. But I know the places. I know where they are. I know how it connects. I know how to get there. I never did go up the big volcano, and especially in this weather, that would be goddamn insane. I already determined that it was a difficult thing to do, but it would be double insane now. Maybe when I first got here, it was hot, but it wasn't like you're gonna die. But even without that, even the fact that I didn't do the big obvious thing, I did so much other stuff. I just feel so, I definitely... Again, I guess like I was saying before, it's best not to dwell on it. There's no point. I've been here for a long ass time. There's no point getting all like, I'm gonna miss Jeju. And I'm still here for almost a week. Like, just be here, man. Just do it. You're here, so just go soak it in. If you love it so much, go soak it in. And that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, for the South Korea part of this journey, at the very least, it's just, I feel like if I had to pick a place that feels kind of like home, like I had that feeling in Japan, mainly with Mount Abura, by Umebayashi Station in Fukuoka, and Akigawa in western Tokyo are the 2 main places. And then on this trip, I'd say I'd add Yokohama in there. I felt incredibly comfortable in Yokohama. Like, if I do make it back to Japan, I very much am going back to Yokohama. And yeah, I'm definitely just putting Jeju there. Jeju, God, I like Jeju. So good. Like even just this random view out my window, that I'm only seeing a bit of the bay between two buildings. The island does pop up above one of the buildings. It's like a surprisingly decent view, even just through the window. And all I got to do is walk a block over there and I'll be behind those hotels and the coastline will be right there, the whole coast. And just that there's 200 kilometers of that shit. And I saw it all, man. I saw it all. Yeah, that's all. I'm just rambling. I gotta fucking get my big floppy sun hat on and go walk through this shit. But yeah, it's beautiful, man. I love it. The AQI for most of the time that I was here was not terrible. Very few bad days, but it did hover a little above 50 most days. It wasn't super amazing. But now that the weather has become unbearably hot, I don't know if there's a connection. I guess there is, because it seems like winter is the more polluted time of year. But yeah, it's just been in the green for days now. So the pollution's gone way down. The temperature has gone way up. But yeah, it's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful place. Oh, and ever since I noticed that little crab, again, maybe this has something to do with the time of year. Ever since I noticed a crab on that ancient horse trail the other day, I've seen 2 other crabs not near the water, just scuttling around, one of them right by here. And that's just cool too. There's just crabs around. It's just beautiful, man. If you do make it to South Korea, I can't recommend it enough. It's such an inexpensive domestic flight from Busan. I was thinking the other day when I was walking on the Ole Trail right before I get to Wallabong that, when there are parts of the Ole Trail where I find the arrows a little tough to follow, or there's like a walkway that's a bit starting to deteriorate a little or whatever, I was thinking that's what I would do if I was just like an old Korean man who lived here on this island, is I'd get in touch with that Ole Trail team and just be like, hey, can I just like help out, like be a flaneur, I'm just gonna walk this fucking thing, probably over and over. I'll just walk around the island till I die one day. So hey, what if I just take little notes, just let you know if there's something that needs addressing on the trail or something, I don't know. That'd be such a fun retirement job, just walk around the trail, just keep on walking. And I keep thinking ever since about like, where could you do this in Canada? Because apparently that was the inspiration for this trail was, I don't remember where the original was, South America maybe? But somebody was traveling and there was a similar type of pilgrimage trail. And they thought like, hey man, when I go back home to Jeju, maybe I could do that. And then they did. I don't know. I can't think of any places in Canada where this would be especially doable. Maybe in the greater Vancouver area, maybe? There's still, limited shoreline. In Canada, there's always developments along the shore. You can't really walk along shorelines for long periods anywhere that I've seen. And there's always, again, the insect issue and the weather and a lot of problems that can happen. But it's just such a cool thing. Just such a great thing. But all right, I've been staring at this fucking island long enough. I'm gonna go outside and go across the fucking street and go stare at it from even closer. So it's only like an hour later. I'm just walking through my hood, through the waterfall park, looking at all the gorgeous coastal stuff. And it's so neat, like I was just saying about how I can cast my mind to the different parts of the island. So this little washroom that's down here by the waterfront, I never noticed till just today, but way above the urinals, if you look way up, there were some pictures, little framed pictures of little sub-islands, little mini islands. But I was looking at them and it's like, dude, that's so cool. Like I know what all those are. There's one that's very near here. It's like a big almost rectangular island that I can't quite see from right here. But as soon as I get up this hill, I'll be able to see it. So I'm like, all right, that's the local one. That makes sense. But then I saw the little dual islands. It's like these two little, very distinctive rocks. They're probably not little, actually. They just, I just say little because they're way out at sea. But they're obviously big enough and notable enough that somebody put a framed picture of them up, and I know what they are. That's way west over by Horse Mountain. That's where there's the island reported by a Dutch sailor in the 1600s, the first time the Western world became known, this part of the world. The farthest point south in all of Korea, and then it's part of that. These little dual islands that are apparently popular for sunrise and sunset selfies. Probably just popular for photography back in the day, but that has become the selfie in the modern era. Oh, there's a little break as I walk up this hill. I have a perfect view of Seopseom, that island I was looking at through my window earlier. But yeah, then I went to wash my hands, and the picture over by the sink was the Sunrise Island, the one that cost $5 to go up. And that's the one that's way east. The one where the bus transfer happens, where you're gonna get dumped out in the middle of the night if you get on the bus too late. But that's so cool that those aren't even local things. One of them's local, the other two are real far away, but it's like, I know what those are. I know where they are. That one's east, that one's west. I know how to get to them. I've seen them, I've been there. It's just so cool. Feels so cool. Jeju, I was gonna say it's a nice digestible size. But yeah, if you can stay for 2.5 months, yeah, it's very digestible size. It's still big. But I was also kind of thinking about this whole trip in general. Now that the end of the clock's ticking down, and I got my flight to Taiwan all set up, and I got a couple Airbnbs lined up. And yeah, that I knew nothing coming in. Nothing but what little bit I picked up from Korean pop culture. I didn't even know that there was a 6-month visa waiting for me. And pretty much everything looks better to me in hindsight. It's just the way my brain is wired. It's very much a rose-colored glasses type of thing. And not the deep past. I don't tend to really dwell on that a whole ton. The more or less modern past, the last, 10, 15 years type of past, or even just the last 6 months. Because yeah, I was thinking how I didn't know a ton going into visiting Korea. And my hope was, hey, hopefully, especially to me, since I can't speak either language or read either language, maybe it'll just feel like a little more time in Japan. I'll just go to this other place that has 7-Elevens everywhere. And as I've talked about many times, but just how shocking the change was from Tokyo to Seoul. Being there in the winter, it being just a giant city, it being way more disheveled than the rest of South Korea. And just the pollution hammer, just how incredibly bad all that was. That not only did I kind of at that point just sort of write off like, yeah, geez, I don't know about this. This is definitely not what I had hoped. This is not the nice, fun extension to visiting Asia that I had hoped. That was also the only time I ever looked into breaking an Airbnb lease and realized I couldn't. It was non-refundable because I just got, this super cheap share house. But that I legitimately felt that. Like, I can't believe I've got 5 more weeks here. How can I fucking do this? It's so depressing and polluted every fucking day. And then, I slowly found ways to approach Bukhansan. Took some time, but I unraveled that enough, and it's just such a beautiful national park. That alone very much tipped the scales and made Seoul feel worth it. But I was thinking that even just in general, even by the end of Seoul, again, just because, you just got to be at a place for a while and just accept what it is and just forget about your preconceived hopes and just let it be what it is. I do remember because my Airbnb was in an awesome spot, my share house. Oh man, what was that neighborhood called? Come on, brain, we can remember. It was by Hongik University. Okay, so at least I remembered that. But it was the stop next to that, there was like a cool clubbing area where on the weekend, like, there was mega loud club music. You didn't have to go in the club, just walking by. It was like thump, 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 holy fuck. Damn, I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't remember the name of that neighborhood. Oh, no way, do I not have a pre-downloaded map of Seoul anymore? I guess not. It'll come back to me. It'll suddenly pop into my mind within the next 10 minutes. I'll suddenly remember. But even by the end of my time in Seoul, I remember just that across the street from that share house was a Burger King, and it was a beautiful view, just waiting for the walk sign to come on, just across that street and go from the Burger King. At the end of the day, I would usually stop in the Burger King and then head across the street to my place. And that view crossing that street was so beautiful. With all the cars parked, you still had to be careful about scooters because they're fucking maniacs. They only vaguely follow traffic rules. But I guess that view really sticks with me because it was always nighttime as well. You know, daytime was when it was all, because on the other hand, I remember like the first time I went to the river near there and just looked across the river into this haze, this horrible haze, the sun just barely breaking through the haze and just seeing endless city, and it looked like fucking Dune or something. It's like, that looks so awful. Why would I ever even want to go out there? Why would I want to explore this? It just looks like a nightmare. But at night, crossing that intersection and just looking down the street, and you could see way down the street, and that's like a huge, big built-up part with tons of just huge buildings everywhere, and all the lights of the nightlife lights, and just like all the cars parked. And it was just beautiful. Like I was even at the time, I remember thinking as I walked across that intersection, like, yeah, I'm gonna kind of miss that view. That's just, it feels cool, it feels good. And then, yeah, everything basically went all uphill from there. So when I look back at the totality of this South Korea trip, it turned into exactly what I initially hoped it would be. Now that I'm prepped, now that I'm ready, now that I know how things work more around here. Oh wow, I actually connected to Wi-Fi. Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of Wi-Fi near public restrooms, which probably ties into how there's the emergency button at all the restrooms. Yeah, the public Wi-Fi situation is, I think, almost literally 1,000 times better in South Korea than it is in Japan. Man, public Wi-Fi was hard to find in Japan. Very easy to find in South Korea. Hapjeong. I would not have remembered that. Hapjeong Station is where I stayed. I guess it seemed easier to remember at the time because it was the first place I stayed. Where in the meantime, I've had to try to remember dozens of similar names, and I've failed very much so. But yeah, I'd say things turned out actually much better even than I kind of realized they were. Because initially I was like, oh geez, I don't know about this. And then I kind of moved to the point of like, oh okay, now things are feeling more comfortable. Like next time I visit Japan or next time I'm in this part of the world, I'll absolutely come back to South Korea. I'll go to Busan and stuff, it'll be great. But I still thought like, but you know, I wouldn't take the expense of the flight halfway around the world if it weren't for Japan. You know, this was still the side dish to Japan. But at this point, especially between Busan and Jeju, I don't even feel like that anymore. Now I feel like if for whatever reason, if Japan just decided one day, you know what, we're closing all our borders, no one can ever come here again, I would totally fly back to Asia to come to South Korea now. I would absolutely do it. There's so much good shit here. It just took a little while. Took a little while to untangle the knot, you know? But yeah, that's also kind of why I do this podcast. I mean, you know, I've been making jokes about it the whole time, but it is true that it's a weird idea. Just the audio podcast where I'm just describing stuff. It's a weird thing. And if you've been here all this time, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. You know, hopefully it's more or less evocative. I mean, I guess you can pretty obviously tell that I'm by the putting place, the golf place where all the old folk play some form of golf. It's not mini golf. It's not proper golf. I don't know what it is, but it's some golf adjacent game. But whenever I listen back to stuff, like even if nobody ever listened to this podcast, I don't know, I feel like I might still do it. It's just like a weird audio scrapbook. Because again, just the way my brain is, that things really sink in hindsight a lot of times, even recent hindsight. And whenever I listen back, it's like, oh yeah, I'm just like transported back to that day. And it's like, oh geez, what an interesting feeling. I sort of feel like I'm there again. Like, whoa, cool. And that's just the general way that my brain is built, you know, the type 2 fun model. It doesn't always have to be that fun in the moment. It'll seem really cool, even just very soon afterward. So yeah, just looking back at this last 6 months, man, what a delightful turnaround, you know? So it's just nice, you know, feels good. And it's nice just to take some of that pressure off of Japan. Because Japan was it's like a revolutionary trip to me in 2019. I was like, man, I can't believe how great that was. And then immediately just locked down and stuck in my hometown and spent the next 4 years thinking about Japan. And then it kind of goes by. I mean, I was there 90 days. It was a long visit. I did a lot of stuff, but at the same time, it goes by quickly. It's a lot of pressure to put on one place and like, oh, this is the place, and make the most of your visit and soak it all in. And like, it's nice to diffuse that a little. It's nice to just get comfortable with the area, with just this part of the world in general. And yeah, it was a weird feeling at first to think like, oh geez, maybe this isn't going to happen. Maybe, you know, it's like I was putting more pressure on Japan initially. Because I was like, oh geez, I cannot believe it. I am not fitting in Seoul, damn it. So everything is turned around in a very fucking nice way. And here we are at the top of the park, where you can look down into the grotto and see the waterfall. It's overcast enough today that my view of Halasan in the background is not great. Can only see it a bit. I can still see it a bit. And yeah, just this perfect view of the waterfall. Awesome, man. So awesome. I was thinking it is weird, since this is one of the areas where, you know, it costs a couple dollars to go down and see the waterfall. It is almost a little weird that you can just see it for free up here when this is arguably better. I don't know how they would ever charge you, though, for this one. It'd be very hard to cordon this off. But I just noticed also that there is a tree here in front of me in the middle of the view, but they have strategically removed a couple limbs. So there's like 2 spots from up here where you can see the waterfall. So yeah, if they wanted to, they could try to obscure it. They could be like, nah, you're not allowed to see the waterfall unless you pay $2. But no, they are on your side. They're like, yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Go see the cool waterfall from up in the air. Even that, yeah, I'm just seeing the little people down there. And I remember the first time when I saw people down there, and I was like, what's going on down there? And they were all in uniforms that day too. And just the first thought that came to my mind is like, is this some kind of weird pilgrimage, baptismal thing going on? What's happening? I had no idea how to get down there, if you could get down there. I didn't realize it was a whole tourist thing. I was trying to figure out how to get to the bottom of the waterfall, and I couldn't even begin to figure it out. And like, the memories. All right, anyway. Man, this is nice too. I definitely find the weather very inconsistent as far as the claimed weather versus how it really is out here. This feels like almost cool. I'm still sweaty, but breezy, overcast. I feel almost comfortable, which is incredible compared to yesterday's heat wave. There's, I don't remember the name of it, this one kind of wool. I was watching a guy on YouTube, just his one bag, since I travel with just one bag. This guy had his version of his one bag travel. And part of it is that all of his clothes, almost literally everything he owns, it's this one kind of wool that's antimicrobial. So he claims that he doesn't need to do laundry that often, that it takes longer for his clothes to get dirty, and in fact they sort of don't get dirty, was his claim. Where definitely clothing is still the majority of what's in my bag. It would be great if I could travel with less clothing, but it would just mean having to go do laundry more often. And laundry is sort of expensive. It adds up pretty fast. It's over $10 for me to do laundry and dry my laundry here. Which, when you can buy a shirt from Daiso for $3, it's like, geez, I could just keep buying shirts for that price. But I don't know, it's like a neat idea. I'll certainly look into it. But that seems like a little bit, sounds very suspect to me, you know? I mean, I can only wear stuff once. I get 1 day out of a shirt, 1 day out of my underpants, 1 day out of my socks. But especially in this part of the world, because he was also talking about traveling through Asia. I don't know, man. I feel like when you're sweating to the degree that everybody sweats around here, how fucking antimicrobial could this shit be? It's like that joke in The Simpsons. They buy Homer the white suit. They're like, this is developed for Elvis. Sweat actually cleans this suit. Like, the reason that's a joke is because that's fucking ridiculous. That's gross and fucking, there's no fucking way. But anyway, apparently there's a magical wool out there that doesn't get all sweaty and gross. Don't know how that's possible. But I'm certainly, I guess it couldn't hurt, right? Suppose if you had that stuff and you did laundry on the regular, I mean, then you're fucking the king of, the god of cleanliness. All right, stop talking, Keith. Just stop it. All right, it's the next day. I'm just gonna add this little bit to finish off this episode. But it's early in the morning. It's 8:30 in the morning, and standing at the hotel window, the beautiful view. Pretty overcast again, but I can still see really far in the distance. I can see the island out in the bay, and the guys at the surf shop, the diving shop, the bubble tank. They're rocking out over there, just playing radio. I've never heard that before because I've never been awake this early. Yeah, I'm not going to dwell on this because this is, I know I live a pretty easy life where I just get to travel around with inheritance money. And there's nothing special about waking up in the morning. Everyone has to wake up in the morning every day. So, yeah, I'm not going to dwell on, like, can you believe it? I woke up in the morning. Because that's pathetic and insulting to everyone else who always has to do this. But that's what I decided to do. Since I'm like, all right, I don't really have any specific plans for the rest of my handful of days here on the island. And I am going to have to wake up at 8 in the morning on the travel day to go to Taiwan to make sure I get to the airport nice and early, take a bus all the way across Jeju, and then, like, the flight doesn't leave till 1:30 in the afternoon, but I put my money where my mouth is about getting to the airport early. It's the best thing you could ever do for yourself is get to the airport early. It makes travel days 1,000 times less fucking stressful. So I decided I'm just gonna, oh fuck, is it raining? Wow, I couldn't really tell. But yeah, I decided I'm just gonna set my alarm. I didn't set it for 8, I set it for 9. But then I did wake up on my own. That's one thing about being a light sleeper, I don't know. My brain is just like chugging along all the time. It's fucking weird and like annoying. Where I woke up at like 4 in the morning to go pee. And then when I laid down and closed my eyes, I could see like weird purple, just, you know, visuals happening. because obviously my body was flooded with whatever hormones make you go to sleep and, just make you fucking stop moving. And I was basically like starting to dream already, even though I was awake. Like I'm just way too aware of what's going on in my mind while I'm falling asleep. That you're not supposed to be conscious for that shit, but I am sometimes. Anyway, along with that, yeah, like even though it's super unnatural for me to wake up in the morning, my brain knew, hey, there's an alarm that's gonna go off soon, so just wake up now. You know what time it is. You're barely asleep, you fucking weirdo. But anyway, I'm gonna set the alarm for the morning every day, and I'll just get up and fuck it. If I'm miserable, I'll fight through it. Just whatever. I mean, maybe I'll even take a nap if things really suck. But I'm just gonna get myself used to waking up in the morning. Fuck it. Hey, actually, I just saw the 600, the airport limousine, go by. That's the bus that I believe I'm gonna take. 9:01, okay, so that's good to know. Yeah, if I wake up at 8 on travel day, it goes right by here, and as long as I'm out there and ready by 9, I should be good to go. Yeah, I got several bus options to get to the airport, but I realized the airport shuttle I took on my first day did stop right by here. Gonna have to leave some money on my T-Money card. Hey, actually, that's something. Because that bus is a little more expensive. I think it was like $5, so I gotta leave at least $10 on there just to be on the safe side. But then, I'm not sure where I can use up whatever money is left on my T-Money card at the other end. Maybe there are convenience stores in the airport, but when I did a little Google search, I didn't see any, but there may be a Paris baguette. It's this store I still have never gone to. They just sell like bakery stuff and sandwiches and crap. It takes T-Money. So maybe there'll be one of those in the airport. There appeared to be on the old Google Maps, but let's see, how long does a T-Money card, do they expire? Because my Montreal cards did expire during COVID. They don't last that long, like 5 or 6 years or something. Whereas my Suica card in Japan was fine, because apparently they last like 9 years. Let's see, T-Money. T-Money cards have no expiration date, and any unused balance will remain on your card until used. And you can get a refund for a small fee, but I like keeping all my transportation cards. Cool, so I mean, that couldn't hurt. Whenever I come back to Korea next, just to have a T-Money card ready to go. But obviously, if I can keep it a little low, it's got like $40 on it right now. That's a little much. But if I can end it off with $5 or $10, why not? Could be a handy thing to have. Yeah, I was kind of thinking, speaking of buses, I might take a bus to Adia Coffee. There's no Adias in Seogwipo, but there's one, I said by the beach last time. It's not by a beach. There's no beaches on the southern shore. No, well, I guess there is one. There is one. But anyway, the beach, quote unquote, just the coastline, the volcanic rock. That's not too far of a bus ride from here. But yeah, it looks like the rain has already calmed down again. It's just like on and off. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. This rain is not too heavy. And in its own weird overcast way, it's very beautiful out there. Nice, misty, like if you, again, now I love using that island out in the water to gauge the weather. This would be like if you change the opacity on that layer in Photoshop. That opacity is down to like 18%. It's pretty hard to see. But pretty in its own way. Alright, maybe I won't be going to Adia Coffee. So not only has my view of the island out in the water completely disappeared, even the people working at the fucking diving place who wear wetsuits all day, they've also disappeared. That's how hard the rain is. It just went crazy, and there's thunder and lightning. And I can see, now I can see the rain falling very fucking clearly, but on the road too, I can see like waves of water hitting the fucking street, just like, damn. Of course the weather goes up and down around here, but this is insane. I'm very glad I'm not outside for this shit. What the fuck? I haven't experienced thunder and lightning at all. That seems weird too. I don't know, I'm thinking back to Canada. I guess that doesn't only happen at night. Oh geez, look at this rain. Just like sheets of rain just like billowing down the street. But I feel like in Canada, well, it's weird on the west coast. Vancouver is very rainy, but it has very little storm weather. Where in the east coast, you do have some pretty crazy storms, but I don't remember it happening a lot in the morning. What time is it here? Yeah, a little after 10 a.m. And it's not a lot of thunder and lightning. I saw a big crack of lightning before, and I haven't seen one since, but still, man, insane. Fucking, this is a good, there it is. There's some lightning. This is a good fucking day to stay in fucking side, man. Thank God I had a cafe la coffee still in my little fridge. And I got some kimchi side dish packets. I can go put in some noodles. I think that's the plan. That is the fucking plan. There is a convenience store like 2 doors down from here, but again, I'm sure the weather will calm down, but I wouldn't want to even do that, man. Though, that one coffee is probably not going to be enough to power me through the day. I had a bunch of instant coffees that I bought from Daiso, and I finally used up the last one yesterday. Anyway, one more little addendum to this episode. Oh yeah, geez, now there's like streams forming in the street. You can just see like a little piece of paper or something, just like trucked its way across the street down the incline. Yeah, it's kind of fun when you're inside. It's fun when the weather gets crazy, but yeah, if I was out there today, that would suck. All right, well, barring any more acts of God, that's an episode, I think. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.